is it important for organizations to transform large volumes of data into actionable insights then?
Yeah, data is exactly what that says. It's just data, and large volumes of data is also just data, right? And data by itself doesn't deliver impact because it lacks kind of the meaning and the structure and the relationships that one needs to really deliver impact to a business and to get to insights, right? So I think the most important function is actually how you take that data, irrespective of whether it's a small amount of data or a large amount of data, into a more meaningful process where you can look at relationships, where you can look at correlations, you can look at causal linkages increasingly, what is the logic underlying kind of each of the bits of data, and organize it in such a way that you take that data, a couple of steps forward. You take data into kind of information. That information then over time becomes knowledge. That knowledge then delivers the wisdom, which is really the insights and impacts that any business is after, right? So I like to really think about data analytics as a journey, as opposed to data and analytics as pieces in a flow, right? So rather than within those bits, and I'm sure I'll come back to this theme, but it is an evolution that's going on with all the change around us. So that's what I would tell you.
Yeah, and I guess it's sort of good for businesses because obviously if you're looking at your past data, you can look at how to improve your decisions, and then obviously from that, that's going to snowball, isn't it, to improve your competitiveness, competitive advantage, revenue growth. So if you've got the right structure in place, it's not the knock-on effect, isn't it?
Yep, and I think that's why we need to kind of transform data for the reasons you're mentioning, right? Is just because it's there doesn't mean it answers the question, and sometimes, and it's the wrong question. It's very easy to directly go into data and then end up addressing the wrong question, right? And so one of the things I think we need to do as analytics professionals and practitioners is think about whether we're answering the right question. Has that been formulated correctly before we kind of jump into the solution mode, which a number of us tend to do because that's how it's been in our DNA traditionally, right? So I think it's a very important point to recognize that data has to transform into insight, and that's increasingly becoming a very important piece of the journey. That's going to require understanding of all the pieces involved.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously it's getting more complex. There's no lie, and like with that, I guess you can go to any direction, couldn't you? There, and I guess you need to, like you said, align to what the insight you want to achieve, because there's many things businesses can get sidetracked to.
Yep, and it's very easy to report a wrong finding, thinking it's insight. And that does happen a lot. It's just getting, as you know, more expensive to do deeper, higher level analytics. And so there is, in some sense, a cost dimension to not specifying your business problem correctly, because you could go down a rabbit hole, solve a problem that is the wrong solution and the wrong problem, right? So all of that kind of has to come together to deliver impact.
Yeah, brilliant. So obviously, like we mentioned, it's not easy. I guess we should say that's the big.
It's still fun. So that's the important piece.
Yeah, because I think also you look at obviously the stats, 80% of data projects fail, but I don't. Obviously, I had this conversation with David, another leader, and he sort of said you can't actually achieve your result, can you? Obviously, you can achieve steps, but it's constantly, like you mentioned, it's constantly evolving.
Yep.
So you're constantly chasing your tail, isn't it? Really, because new things come, and
Yep.
it's a never-ending cycle.